Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Top Talks. Today we're gonna talk about this guy that I saw in TikTok,
Yeah.
and he had some pretty good comments. But
Okay.
well, let's wait and
see
see.
it.
Top Talks.
Welcome back. Welcome back. How y'all
Welcome back.
doing?
Hey,
Good.
hey.
Good.
Good,
So
good.
we had some good comments about our past,
Past stuff, yeah. Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So we talked about
Ice.
ICE. That's a pretty good topic.
Yeah.
DEI. We talked about. I think we're gonna.
Yeah, we did
engage-
DI in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, we did.
But-
Yeah, but I think we're gonna re-engage that.
Oh, yeah, that's
again.
coming. Yeah.
And then we talked about racism, institutional racism
Yeah.
in America. So today, based on our previous comments, I was going through TikTok.
Yeah.
And I saw this guy. He talked about something very
Interesting.
interesting.
Okay.
Right? He talked about something about Generation X. Right? So let's put our
Sex?
heads. No. Generation X.
Oh, okay.
Let's put our headphones on and we'll talk to this guy.
See what he got.
Yeah, this guy right here. Okay, and we'll see what he says.
I've been hearing a lot of complaining and seeing a lot of whining online lately. Folks complaining about Generation X getting involved in government, whether it's at the local level or federal level. Can you believe that? The pragmatic generation fixing government, and people are complaining about it. Let's talk about Generation X for a minute. The latchkey kids who grew up without participation trophies, the ones who learned to fend for themselves where their parents were working late. They've seen the economic booms, busts, and the rise of the internet, and the fall of common sense. And now, they are quietly stepping into leadership, not with grandstanding or ideology, but with a simple goal to make government work like it's supposed to. Gen X came of age watching the Cold War wind down, industries collapse, and technology rewrite the rules. Unlike the boomers who fought ideological wars on our behalf, or millennials who lead into idealism, Gen X has always had a different approach. Just get the job done. They've seen what bloated, inefficient government looks like. They lived through the economic downturns of the early 2000s, watched bad policies crush businesses, and learned that neither side of the political spectrum has all the answers. In fact, hardly any of the answers. So now they're pushing for transparency, efficiency, and fiscal responsibility, not because it aligns with some party doctrine, but because it works. Gen X knows that government should be lean, effective, and accountable. No more throwing money at problems and hoping they disappear. No more bureaucratic red tape choking progress. Their focus isn't on scoring ideological points, it's on delivering results. Gen X has had a front row seat to the endless culture wars and political theater. They remember the political correctness battles of the 90s, the deepening partisanship of the 2000s, and the endless cycle of outrage that has fueled division ever since. And frankly, they're sick of it. This generation isn't interested in grand crusades or purity tests. They've seen firsthand how both ends of the spectrum can take things too far, and they're not afraid to call it out. They don't want politicians wasting time on ideological battles when real issues like jobs, security, and infrastructure are being ignored. And when it comes to war, Gen X has had enough of fighting battles with no clear damn objectives. They grew up watching Vietnam vets struggle, saw the chaos of Iraq and Afghanistan, and now they're the ones asking, what was it all for? They believe in strength, but they also believe in common sense. If you're going to fight, make damn sure it's necessary, winnable, and in our best interest. Gen X was the last generation to grow up without the internet, and the first to embrace it as adults. They know what the world looked like before tech took over, and they know how to use it to make things work better. That's why they're pushing for smarter government, one that cuts bureaucratic waste, embraces digital efficiency, and makes information actually accessible to the public. Want immigration reform? Gen X says secure the damn border, enforce laws, but also streamline the systems so good people can come here legally without waiting a decade. Want better government? Stop wasting time on useless committees and use technology to cut through the nonsense. Want transparency? Put the data out there. Let the taxpayers see where their money is going. For Gen X, the goal isn't to make government bigger or smaller, it's to make it work. Gen X isn't flashy. They don't make a lot of noise. But as they step into leadership, they're proving that practical, no-nonsense governance is exactly what we need. They're not here to play ideological games or push utopian fantasies. They just want government to do what it's supposed to do, to serve the people, solve real problems, and stay the hell out of the way when necessary. It's time for a shift away from partisan nonsense and towards results. And if Gen X has anything to say about it, that shift is already underway. Watch your top knot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that guy, his name is his tag in TikTok is at Granite Whisper NH. Right. So thanks for your comments, but it does make a lot of sense, right? Like
He was passionate.
He was very passionate.
I mean, he was dropping everything when he started with government efficiency. I think we discussed this a little bit about DOGE.
Doge.
When he talked about securing the border and having ease of people going through the correct way, the lawful way,
Yeah.
not wait a long time,
Right,
decades, and kind of like, hey, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And-
most of us. Yeah.
And when he talks about Generation X, which is us, basically, the 1970s, 80s Generation X, it makes a lot of sense because we did see the rise of the internet. We used to still play outside, get hurt. Nobody, they let us go out of the house and then just call us out. When the sun is down. But the culture of the Generation X makes sense that we're doing that when we step up to leadership, this happens, right? Because we are used to hard work, and we're used to transparency. We're used to all that because we've been through it, right? Vietnam War, Cold War, all that stuff. So everything that he says makes a lot of sense. And I see myself, being in that mentality, like, oh yeah, you know what he was saying is right. And I think the new generation does not relate. They can't relate to what we've been through, what we've seen, and how our work ethic is, because they didn't have to go through it, right? We Gen X, when we were growing up, we made sure that our children was taken care of, so they're kind of spoiled in a way, in a sense, because we did the hard work, and the new generation did not. Not everybody. And I can't generalize it, but
Yeah.
most of the time, we did our best to make sure they don't have to go through what we had to go through. So that's why I think what's happening now in government, when you put Generation X folks out there, and people complaining,
Yeah.
Right.
is because they don't want to. They want to get pampered. They want government to take care of it.
It just got me thinking because my teenage years or when I was growing up, I wasn't growing up here. So that little part I cannot relate.
Right.
So my relation though is what I remember growing up in another country.
Okay.
But the way he's talking about it, it's somewhat similar.
Right.
Yeah.
You're out there. You could think for yourself. You find things. You solve it the most efficient way. Whether it's the right way or not.
Yeah.
Right?
You'll find out the hard way.
You'll find out the hard way, right?
Right.
And then you just take the licks and then you move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I do get him. I do get what he's talking about. Regarding that certain generation, which is ours.
Right.
Right.
A little bit too, because I'm kind of biased because adulthood was for me military.
Right.
Military for me is the great equalizer.
yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter where you came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're starting here.
Yes. Yeah.
You will learn by the numbers.
Yes.
Ready? Step.
Yeah, right. Ready, step, right?
Right.
So I do get him. It's a little bit, my mentality is I'm not 100% sure if the way I see things really matches of what's going on based on where I grew up first.
Right.
My secondary home was majority military.
Right.
Again, there's a lot of biases that I could I could take that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then if I compare myself
Yeah.
with another Gen X that grew up here
Yeah.
with no military experience,
Right.
but has done his hurdles.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if we'd see eye to eye. More than likely, we'll be seeing eye to eye on not all,
Yeah.
Right.
but majority.
Majority.
I think
Yeah.
at least for the I guess the baseline
Yes.
of
Yeah.
what you guys would be talking about.
Yeah.
I think you'll see eye to eye. I think so.
and with anything though, right? It's not everybody. Right?
No. You're right.
it's
You know
not-
what I mean?
I think the other thing that he pointed out too, I think he's mainly talking about obviously the new government and what they're trying to do,
Right.
which is transparency and you know what I mean.
But that's all we need.
Which that's exactly what
You
we
know,
need.
if
I mean,
you think
who
about
does it,
of a
right?
government, right? Like, what does the government supposed to do? They're not
Right.
supposed to be the caregiver for
Right.
everybody. They
Yeah.
need to enforce what the people
Yeah.
want. That's their job. Is
Yeah.
to enforce what we vote for as far as laws and
Yes.
social support or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be, right? To maintain our sovereignty as a nation,
Right.
with the people being the boss.
Yeah,
basically.
especially when taxes were created, it was meant for something.
Right.
And then from our last podcast, we talked about what DOGE found.
Yeah.
And just,
yeah. Oh man.
they put it out there for transparency.
Transparency, I think that's the key.
And, yeah. And talking about that, I got some, I guess, exciting development. They were mentioning something about whatever they found that's fraud, waste, and abuse.
Yeah.
They're gonna they're gonna be a percentage of it that's gonna go back to the taxpayers.
That's
So
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
is
Okay.
gonna receive some kind of stimulus, right?
Right.
They're estimating around 5,000. However,
Yeah.
again, we won't see that until next year because we still have to gather.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it doesn't take one day to fix whatever they gotta fix and figure out.
Five,
Yeah.
$5,000 was just a number thrown out.
It's a number thrown out
Yeah.
because it may be more, maybe less.
That's pretty good, man.
But the estimate is between 5,000 to 8,000, give or take.
I'm trying to do calculations in my head, like
Yeah.
5,000
Per taxpayer,
Per
not
taxpayer.
not
The
per
taxpayer guy.
Yeah, per taxpayer. How many taxpayers in the United States? Blah blah blah. Damn, that's much. How much fraud that they found?
Bro, we got
If they are
found like-
really, if they can pay $5,000, that should make you think that. Like, wait, hold up.
yeah.
That's how much we're getting back. That means,
Yeah.
that's how much they were wasting.
So there's a debate about that. As a matter
Uh-oh.
of fact,
About what?
about do we want the money or do we want to just eliminate IRS? Because the people are mad.
Yeah.
The American taxpayer is pissed off that they found that much money.
You're talking about this is what they found from the IRS?
No, not
Okay,
just
okay.
IRS.
Oh, in general.
In general.
In general. Okay.
But if you think about it, it's all taxpayers' money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So I've seen a couple of videos, and they're like, "Screw that! Hold accountable those who abused the system
yeah.
and wasted all this money. Close down IRS, and put those people who were responsible for this
Yeah.
go to jail." Which I kind of agree.
If it's really that bad, right?
Yeah.
If it's found like
Yeah,
obviously
I mean, it's
guilty
like
of
white,
something,
that's like white collar crime right there.
right.
Oh yeah.
Crime
big
is a
time.
crime, man.
Yeah. it
Because
is
I
big
agree,
time.
because I'm right now I'm in charge of a government purchase card, and if I have like 1 cent unaccounted for and I can't explain it, I might end up going to jail.
Yeah.
If that's like a few cents,
1 cent.
Well, that's just a figure of speech,
okay,
right?
yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, if I do
But compared to
millions.
national
trillions,
yeah,
$3 trillion right now, as of right now,
found.
$3 trillion.
You know what
Found.
you know what I don't get though. Like I still don't understand why a lot of Americans in general, a lot of people still hate the government for. I don't understand.
I could. I have one thing to throw out there:
I don't understand with all those good things that I think it's a good thing that they're doing
Yeah.
all of this.
a political divide, man.
It is.
Some people, some,
Yeah.
not all, cannot just let go.
Yeah.
No.
Instead of let's make this term work
Yeah.
and succeed.
As a team,
My goal
Right.
is to put you down.
Yeah.
yeah.
If
don't-
I put you
don't understand
down,
that.
and that's the sad part. If you put him down,
yeah. Of course,
the people will suffer, not
right?
him.
Not him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Actually, that's a good point. No, that's a very good point. You just said that. You're right. I don't think people realize that. You're right. Like,
yeah.
because if you're putting down the president, like, dude, it's actually not just that person that's
No.
that putting him down.
Yes.
That's the kids, the neighbors.
Yeah.
That's all of us. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point,
Yeah,
man.
And to
You're right.
piggyback on that, I think the reason is years and years
Yeah.
of brainwashing, right? So think about the government, right? Who is, regardless of what partisan you are,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
left or right, up or down, whatever the case may be, right?
I think
They're all tied together with corporations, with those billionaires, those people that own the media.
Yeah.
So they use that power to influence the media to influence the American people. I mean, there's studies back in the 60s where subliminal messages really do make a
Right.
difference and make influence on people's mentality and beliefs.
Right.
I gotta. You mentioned 60s. I like the 60s. No, speaking of the 60s, and you're talking about brainwashing and all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
I need. I'll get more material. Like really, it's from a book
Yeah.
that I've read, and it's not just one book. There's a couple of books that talk
Yeah.
about how the dependency of certain race to the government made them poorer
Yes.
at the end.
I think I read
Made-
something like that too.
I'm not saying what.
Made that certain race poor.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I'm not saying what until I can
Well, just
tell
say
you
it.
the book.
Because
Tell you the author. Yeah.
I already read some of the book that
Yeah,
talk- it's
I-
the
I-
black
we already
the,
know.
the black community.
Yes, we
where
already know who you're talking about
Yeah.
anyway. But
Breaking up the institution of a family,
Yes.
Yeah.
making you dependent.
Yes, I've seen that
Yeah,
one.
they
Right?
even have programs there that they introduce cocaine and methamphetamines and drugs in that community to control them. Experimented on their people.
Thing.
Think about that. And it's been ongoing, right? And whenever I think about all this stuff, right, disrespecting the black community and brainwashing the American population, who is doing this? Right? There has to be a certain entity, whether it be an individual, organization, or group
Yeah.
that is enabling this to happen.
Right.
But I talked to a couple of my friends in the intelligence community and some.
Intelligence.
Don't worry, I signed a non-disclosure statement, so
You got the NDA right there.
I signed an NDA, so I'm not gonna specifically say anything.
Yeah.
But-
It's the ABC.
Something like that.
The alphabet boys and
But
girls.
there's
Yeah.
so we talk to friends and stuff. We
Yeah,
have engaged conversations, and one thing that I took out of some of the conversations that we had is there are billionaires out there that once you reach a certain amount of money,
Yeah.
then you become a member of this club. And this club is so powerful, right?
The Illuminati?
No.
no,
They meet in the woods back east.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that the Federal Reserve is not a government agency? The Federal Reserve is a private company. It's owned by the club.
It's owned by the club.
It's owned by the club. And that club is the one that influences. I don't have evidence.
Yeah.
It's just he say, she say stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no evidence that this certain club, I'm not gonna say anything,
Yeah.
who it is or who are they,
Yeah.
but there is an entity out there that kind of
No. I'm smirking because this. I mean, they've done shows about that club, but the thing that comes to my mind, it was a series, a TV series.
Really? That
What?
ties into that?
No, it's about the White House president and then husband and wife, and at certain level when he was a president, he was actually answering to some group.
yeah.
They're the influencers. Anyway, just what you were saying.
certain
So money
family-
talks basically.
Oh,
Yeah,
At
oh
the end
man.
of the day, yeah.
The world are Korean, baby.
Yeah.
Cash rules everything
Yeah.
around me.
But I think it boils down to us individual at the end of with that though, us as individual or citizen, we still have to kind of think common sense though.
That's the
Right.
hardest part if
Yeah.
you're already
Yeah.
brainwashed.
yeah.
But if
And that's
you know,
the thing.
and that's probably the one that I can't get my my brain wrap around.
Yeah.
Oh.
to it's like the common sense part of it.
Here's also one thing that
I guess to me it's common sense, but
you're right, but here's one thing that it's so hard to get away from that is
Yeah.
because once you challenge somebody's belief or the way they think,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You said
Yeah,
blah blah
yeah.
blah. There, you can't even have open dialogue.
conversation
No.
and figure out why
Right.
certain things make sense.
Let
or
me
whatever.
listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and still be okay with it.
Right.
But but I think from what's going on and what
Just
I've
too
seen is
emotionally driven.
right. They demonize you. Oh, you don't think like the rest of us. Well,
Oh, your values is against my values.
Yeah.
F you.
Yeah. And then dialogue's already cut.
But that's part of the.
I see a lot of that video,
Yeah.
man. Like when they don't get what if they don't get what they trying to get.
Yeah.
You know, they always refer to.
Yeah.
Old
And
languages
that
and-
is due to the fact that they believe whoever they may be, if the shoe fits,
Yeah.
they believe that they are entitled to government support,
Yeah.
right? To the extent that they can survive without working because they rely on the government, right? And that's why it's so critical for some of the government to allow illegal immigrants, feed the illegal immigrants, social welfare, give them all this money, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Appease the woke society, right?
Yeah.
It's because they want that brainwashing to sink in, to be
Right.
permanent. Like, oh no, they're taking care of me. Why am I gonna change my mind? You know what I mean? Why am I gonna listen to you, even though it makes sense or common sense?
Yeah.
When I'm being taken care of by these people.
Yeah. I mean, going back to like some of the government welfare that they started that destroyed family values.
Right.
Right.
You know, same mentality. Why would I have a nuclear family where now I'm only down to whatever income I could get?
Right.
That what we earn. But if somebody's out and I could claim support and I continue, yes, maybe I could have some more funds,
Yeah.
but the values of growth then it leads to generation,
Yeah.
Right.
and now you got generation
down,
of
yeah.
dependency.
Yeah.
right.
Because the
Instead of going the this way, they just
Yeah, you go
Right.
this way.
Because I remember,
Yeah.
I'm kind of somewhat brainwashed too that it's in a good way. Work hard, go to college, get your degree, and work your butt off until you die, and you'll be successful. Get your picket fence.
No, that's good.
Right.
That's some kind of brainwashing. Remember,
Yeah.
you work hard, you go to college.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not all people are college material,
Right.
but they may be good at trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about trade.
Exactly.
Because why? Because the family wants. I don't want you to be that. I want you to
yeah.
become.
And
This.
then
Right,
what happens
right,
if you
right,
don't go to college? Oh, you're a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. You're not gonna be successful.
Right.
They're gonna put you down because you didn't go to college.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm brainwashed because I'm doing the same thing with my kids.
Well, it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's, and I think that's why going back to everybody else, that's why it's kind of hard to say. So who's right and wrong, right? When you put it
Well,
that way, you know what I mean?
No. You're right.
You know what I mean?
Who's right or wrong? To
Like
be
how-
honest, I don't know. But if you are open enough
Yeah.
to know your own bias,
Right. And then find. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Go
Right?
finish that first because I have something to say.
if you're open enough to
Yeah.
find your own bias
Yeah,
and
yeah.
know that's a bias of yours,
Right.
meaning to say that you may be open to another idea to
Right.
listen somebody out,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe that could like reform you a little bit,
yeah.
and then
And find a
that you
middle
can-
ground.
Yeah, middle ground and move forward.
Yeah.
Move forward. Yeah. And then move forward and be successful as a team, basically.
As a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is like if we have this is what I mainly don't get, especially when there's something, a rules that's set. But a lot of people just don't get it. Like, as far as, okay, let's say, because I see this a lot when I watch a debate, it all boils down to, but that's what the rules said. You know, the rules said you can't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, but people are still trying to
Yeah.
go around that rule. But the rule said that. But you know, I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. Not like some of the government aids or whatever.
Right.
Some of them, I do agree.
Yeah.
Where I don't agree is what's the end point.
Right.
There has to be an end point.
Yes. If
Right?
if you're gonna argue about something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to find an end goal.
yeah,
If there's no end goal,
yeah,
then
we're wasting time.
we're wasting time because it's a continuous loop.
Right.
You gotta break that loop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta find that loop. Whether
Right.
it's this organization that does this
Yeah.
kind of support,
Yeah.
then that organization or another organization should be able to insert themselves so that you could break that pattern
Yeah.
and then
Right.
move to a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I still can't fathom the end point, right? The goal, because we were there before, right? And we just kept going, and then we just all became something different. Is there going to be an end point for the United States? I think there is going to be an ebb and flow, like an up and down. Like
Yeah.
we'll reach it, then we're gonna plateau again, and then somebody's gonna influence again, and you go back down again. Now we have to reestablish that end goal, and you go back. I think, and I might be wrong. This is just my opinion. That organization that I'm telling you guys to that brainwash us or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
Could be a good thing. It could be a good thing because it kind of stabilizes the
Same thinking.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it stabilizes the identity of the United States, right? It's like, okay, we're a superpower because if we don't have those that kind of control us, it's
Not control. Maybe
influence, I guess.
influence or just be the opposite side.
Right.
Yeah, oh,
It's-
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like
Like
know,
check and balance.
Yeah.
check and balance, right?
Yeah.
It could be a good thing, and like what you said, what is right and wrong, right?
Yeah.
You know, I cannot determine. Is that wrong? That people that has the money, the capability to influence us, is I guess it is wrong based on the Constitution. I don't know.
Is it wrong to have transparency?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Is it wrong to have transparency?
Is it wrong for me to cross?
But at
In
certain
another
things,
side
though,
of the
it
border?
is right.
Right.
In certain things, it is. At
There's a
certain
lot,
points,
There's a lot, right?
and certain things you don't,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things that the United States. I'm just
No,
gonna,
no.
because there's a lot of things that we were not supposed to do that we're doing.
Well, I think the
That
answer
is true too. That
And-
is
but
true.
I
I think
you
the
want that to be
answer
transparent?
the answer to the question, right or wrong, is that's why we have rules established
Right, but there's certain things.
to answer some of those questions.
I think what you're saying is
There's a global thing going. It's not just the United States,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Right.
global. It's a global situation.
there are things that we do that is not good
Not,
too.
That,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that
Well,
we
yeah,
cannot.
of course. I don't think we're ever going to be.
And if that comes out, I mean,
You're done.
I'm just gonna keep it to myself. I'm just gonna keep it to myself.
I think
find
everybody.
it
I think
Yeah.
everybody got their own dirt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but going back to the video, man,
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
Very
To be
straightforward.
honest, it's simple. It's a simple message.
Yeah.
It's really hard for some to take that simple
Oh, absolutely.
message.
I can see that already.
Yeah.
Oh, people's
Yeah.
gonna push back.
I didn't
Yeah.
even see the comment on.
Yeah.
You know, and
He's a racist.
Yeah, I can hear it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, again, there you go.
The brainwash.
I don't agree what you're saying, and I don't want to listen to it. Let me
Yeah.
just throw a label at you.
Yeah.
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 to,
what-
to end the
Why
conversation.
do we label people? Like
know.
I don't get it. I don't understand that. Like let's talk
Like I
about
said,
it.
we're talking about that label.
Because I'm pretty sure we might get labeled right now.
No.
Oh, we already did.
We're
We already got-
male,
You know what I mean?
female,
Yeah.
doesn't-
We already got labeled.
You know what I
You
mean?
know
Oh, we
what?
did?
The com-
We
in
did?
the
It
comments.
should be. Well, it should be a conversation.
In the comments, I was like, oh, okay.
I I believe in constructive
I
criticism
do.
and
I do.
whatever. If you
No,
have opinions, say
It
it.
is free speech.
I like
Let's talk about
hard
it.
conversations.
Yeah.
Comment, and we might
Yeah.
comment back with a, you know what I
Yeah,
mean,
hey,
like
you guys
what do you call it, a
can-
civilized manner.
Yeah.
Civilized manner. I mean, even if they insult, it's okay as long
It's
as they
okay.
don't threaten our lives.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, for some viewers out there that are subject matter experts in here,
Yeah.
and we're not hitting the point, please comment. Let us
Yeah,
know.
comment so everybody can see it, so we can
Yeah.
share the blessing on.
Yeah.
this
how
is
we
just
can-
our opinions,
Yeah,
basically.
because the idea of the podcast really is so we can all unite and be successful as a team, right?
Right, and
Educate.
have some
Educate.
open conversation. I mean, we go at it,
I mean,
Yeah,
but we're still friends.
it's just a conversation.
It's just what
it's
it
a
is,
conversation.
right?
It's
Yeah.
nothing personal. It's just my opinion, your opinion.
yeah,
Yeah,
You
not
know.
everybody is alike.
Yeah.
No,
You may have a good circle,
right,
but that circle still has difference of ideas,
right,
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But they're a circle
Don't-
because they know how to get along and
Don't
listen.
Don't stay in that circle of trust. You can
And-
get out of the circle of trust.
Yeah,
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so there
Alright.
you have it.
yeah.
That's another good topic for our Top Talk today. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, again, don't forget to comment
Comment, yeah,
and let us know what you guys think.
yeah. We can handle whatever you comment.
I don't know.
We can handle
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah, but you guys right. Yeah, Seahawks sucks. I got it. I understand.
Go!